This is my directional antenna for my trailer. It boosts my cell signal inside the trailer. These poles are telescoping, so there's 5 sections and they extend 25 feet. And these caps are supposed to be glued on, but this is the second time they've come loose. I've glued them on once before. So I'm going to glue them on again. I'm going to use silicone this time instead of the goop that I used before. But I also had a problem just recently that 2 of these sections didn't lock in very well. So they had dropped while we were sleeping at night. So I had a friend who gave me a hack on what we do. So we would extend these out all the way, lock them in, we'll drill a hole all the way through, and then we'll put one of these pins, hitch pins in there. So it'll go through there, we'll lock it in. So even if the lock on the inside doesn't grab, this won't fall. So it would stay up. Then the worst case that would happen is this might rotate and then I might lose my cell signal. But I'm not going to take a chance of breaking something. So I wanted to show you the inside of this because I also had another issue. I guess it's the same issue because they didn't lock. Let me do this section. So this is the cap. So the cap glues on to this lower section here. And then what the cap does, so the cap glues on to the lower section and it would glue on here. And there's these little bumps. So I don't know, there's 4 of them, I guess. 4 of them that go around here, and those bumps hit the inside of the cap. So when you're extending it, you know when to stop. So you can't pull out too far. But when the cap comes unglued, and then I have the other 3 sections up here extended, I got 15 feet in the air, and I pull it out too far, it started to cause some problems. I haven't lost control of it yet, but I almost did this last time. So I'm going to glue those caps back on. And that's what it grabs a hold of these little tabs that are on here. They're hard to see, but they're there. But this is what actually locks. So this is a piece of plastic. It's got a weak spot here in the center. So it can open up. So you want it to be open. And then this is a little screw on here, molded into the plastic. As this slides up, the diameter of the screw gets bigger. So that would force this to open when it's inside the pipe. So when I took it apart just before doing the video, there's 2 little raised portions of the plastic here which follow the groove here. And probably from the last time I must have took it apart, I put it on backwards. So these grooves are going in the opposite direction of the threads. So what happens, I can get it to where it looks like it's straight, but it wants to set crooked because of those tabs on the inside in the wrong spot. So I want to make sure that I have them on the right way. So I'm going to take all these apart again because I did this once before and either I just got one wrong or I didn't notice it then. So I'm going to make sure they're all on the right way. We'll put them back together. I'm going to drill a hole. The hole will actually be just above these little tabs on here where this stops. So I'll drill a hole through here. So this pin is 5/16. So I'll probably drill a 3/8 hole through here. So it's easier to line up to the other side. And I'll probably drill it maybe a 1/2 inch above the collar. So I'll go ahead and take these apart, drill all the holes in there, clean all that up. And then I'll start gluing these back on, make sure these are on the right way. And then there's one other thing I want to do, and I'll show you when all this is done. But there's one way to turn this to make sure that you're tightening them. If you turn it as you're loosening it, once this gets all the way down to the bottom, it's just going to keep spinning and spinning. So it really doesn't matter. But it takes, I haven't counted yet, but let's count it. So it'll take 1 full turn, 1.5 turns before it reaches to the top. So if I'm not turning it the right way, I could just keep spinning it, and then I realize, oh, I gotta go the other direction. So I'm actually gonna write on here which way I wanna rotate. So I'll probably do that just above this pin also. So I'll write on here, then that's the direction I'll rotate that shaft. If I write it down here, generally I leave the bottom one still and I rotate the top one. So I don't want to write it on the bottom, which is a larger shaft. So I'll write it on a smaller shaft and I'll write the direction that I want to rotate that smaller shaft. So that's the top of the antenna. That's when it's up high. As I'm rotating that, what it also does is wraps the cord around the pole as I'm extending it. So it keeps the cord from flapping around. So by the time I tighten up 4 of these out of the 5 sections, I tighten them all up, the cord will be around there several times, and it just makes it so it's not flopping around. But I want to make sure that I write down the right direction, and then I'll drill these holes. So let me get started on that, and I'll show you what I got when I'm done. I want to give you a close-up view of this so you can see as I'm rotating this, it wants to stay in the center. It's easy to stay so it's not crooked. I mean, I can rotate it some, but if I put it on backwards, so I'll spin it, put it back on backwards, I can still get to be straight, but it doesn't want to stay there. It wants to angle. So let me show you the little knurls in there. I'll flip it back down this way. That's the right way. You can see that piece of plastic right here. And there's one on the other side too. You see it there? Those you want to make sure are going in the right direction on the screw. And then you can also see this side has a larger diameter than this side. So as you're screwing it up, it's going along the larger diameter, it's wedging out, then this opens up and it wedges inside the tube. So I'm going to make sure those are all on the right way. So now I'm going to get busy. So I have all the caps glued on, and then I have the holes drilled in on the bottom side. So this is the top side. It's inside of here. So you can see there's the bottom. I have the hole drilled in here. I have the word tighten, and it's going to rub off. So don't know much what I can do. I can try to engrave it maybe. But once I get used to which way I got to go, it's not going to matter too much. But this one, so again at the bottom of this pole, got the hole in. This one I put the pin in, so you can kind of see. I'd rotate this way to tighten that black plastic piece that's down in here. And then same thing on this piece. There's a hole in the bottom of this one where I would put the pin. So that's complete. I gotta let everything dry, and then I'll put it up on the trailer.